All right, welcome to Silent Stacks. Here we focus on silently stacking the bag while navigating uncertainty in real time. Welcome to my channel. If you find value in my work, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive right in. All right, so here we have the Bitcoin chart, and this is the Bitcoin range that I'm watching. I explained this range in my previous video, so if you're interested in that, feel free to check that out. So historically, every time Bitcoin had a bull run, broke its previous all-time high into price discovery, and then corrected back to the all-time high, previous all-time high, historically it's been a good entry. So with that said, here we are, testing the previous all-time high of last cycle. So this is not the time to be fancy. This is not the time to try to get the perfect entry. This is a time to accumulate as much as you can before you can't anymore. So I am personally watching these levels, and I will be very, very interested when it reaches around 60K. So I'm watching this as a reference point. This is the map because everything follows Bitcoin. And then once Bitcoin is around the 60K, I'll be watching for entries of alts. If you are not positioned and you want to be positioned, this is a time to start dollar cost averaging. If you are already positioned and you want better entries, then this is the entries around 60K. Next thing we'll take a look at is going to be the Bitcoin dominance chart. So last cycle was a very interesting cycle. It's like Bitcoin didn't give anything to alts. Okay, it was just taking all of the dominance, and then finally around somewhere in 2025 it looked like we had a local high, a local peak, and then we broke structure, the ascending channel, and then we've been hovering in this zone over here. So it looks like to me that we're going to go lower, and this will be spill over into alt. So if Bitcoin has a pump back to, the 85 zone, the idea is that the Bitcoin dominance chart will fall, and that will show more gains towards alt. So if you don't know this already, it's a very simple concept. What most people are waiting for is the alt season. So either alt up or alt pump. So in order for that to happen, one of the two things need to happen, but it relates to Bitcoin dominance. So I'm anticipating Bitcoin dominance go down. So if Bitcoin dominance goes down, Bitcoin goes up, let's say to 80, 85K, then alt will pump. And then once Bitcoin shows some stability while Bitcoin dominance keeps going down, then alt goes up. And that's what I'm anticipating. So I'm anticipating this right here. So Bitcoin going up to 85K while Bitcoin dominance going down will translate alt pump. So it'll be good gains for alts. That's why I'm looking for alts for entry. And if Bitcoin goes up and Bitcoin dominance goes up and not down, then alts will go down. All right, so we do have to watch Bitcoin dominance. I'm anticipating this one, but we will see it on the charts. All right, so next up, what we will take a look at is XRP. Okay, so this is the altcoin that got the only gains next cycle. So that's why last cycle was a very interesting cycle. Not only did Bitcoin dominance hold all of its gain and did not spill over to alts, the only gainer of last cycle was XRP. And it's interesting because on the 2021 cycle, it was the opposite. Alt was going ballistic, breaking all-time highs after all-time highs, going higher and higher and higher, and XRP didn't even test its previous all-time high. So XRP did not do good in 2021, but oddly enough, or funny that 2024 XRP was the only gain, and this threw many people off. ETH didn't break all-time high. Alts did not perform well. A lot of people lost money. So it's a very, very interesting cycle. All right, so whoever accumulated down here were the only one that won pretty much, unless you're a trader. But if you just buy and hold, the only winners of last cycle was if, is if you bought Bitcoin or XRP. So shout out to the XRP holders for accumulating here because there's not a lot of opportunity. This comes out of nowhere. And if you've been holding this coin for a while, you know how this moves. It's hard to trade it because the big move happens when you least expect it, and there's no way to time it because if you look at here, oh, this is it goes back down. 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 Chops. Oh, this is it, and then it finally goes. But by the time people are saying, oh, this is it, you have people in the comment, oh, you say this every time, like the boy who cried wolf. So this is literally how XRP moves. Same thing here. Oh, this is it, goes back down. Oh, this is it, goes back down. So it has this personality of shocking most people. So if you're in this asset for the long run, you're in a good spot. Just hold what you've been accumulating here, accumulate more if you want. And yep, this is the game. So understand the game. So this is a very beautiful structure to me. All right. So when you compare it with the last cycle, you have a structure right here. You have an arduous grind over here, and then you have the final capitulation move. And then from the capitulation move, we find the floor, and that's when you accumulate heavy and prepare for liftoff, even though it might take time. This is the same thing. So we have the prepare for the liftoff. We found struct over here. This was over a year of trading. And then we have the capitulation. And now we're waiting for some kind of structure to form for us to stack more. Very simple accumulation tactic. Nothing fancy about it at all. All right, so in the meantime, I have a question. So since XRP did not do well in 2021 and all the other alts did very well, and then things flipped over here, XRP did very well and all the other alts did not. My question is, will XRP continue to lead? Or will it take a break while other alts lead for a while? For example, Ethereum. And that is what I am interested in figuring out. So yes, I am a long-term XRP holder. This is my main play. This is the one that I see the most future in. But it doesn't mean I don't want to capitalize on other moves. So it's an idea that I'm thinking. And in order to find that, I look at the XRP ETH chart. So those are the two sceneries that I have in mind. One of them is we start to close above this structure, and then we finally push higher for XRP to continue the pump. Very, very possible. Very, very possible. And we will know once it starts to close above the structure and hold. And then I'll know that it will want to push higher sooner rather than later. On the other hand, if it starts to, cascade down from here, this is a very common accumulation structure. All right, so you have a high structure here, and then you have the capitulation, which aligns with this wick, and then you accumulate here, and then you get ready for liftoff, which takes longer. It's the same outcome, but longer. I'm open to either or, and this chart will help me see what I want to participate in. Do I want to hold off on buying XRP because I think ETH will outperform, or do I want to continue stacking XRP because I'm going to do this? So either or. So this is a gauge that I will be watching. So ETH is on my radar, XRP is on my radar. And now I want to take the time to share another one that I have my eyes on for 2026. So shout out to the Chinese New Year. So we are entering the year of the horse. Here's a little Little tune, a little animation from you from Grok. So we are entering the fire horse, so new energy coming in. And here's a little interesting decode. Seems like some of you liked it. I got pretty decent engagement there. So watch XLM for 2026. So we just entered the year of the horse. This is the email from the Epstein. So I found this interesting. 2014 was also the 2014 year of the horse, pointing at stellar. Stellar isn't so stellar. Interesting thing about XLM that is it launched at 2014, so it's a horse coin. And then here in the bottom, mention of stellar alongside Ripple, which remember Ripple or XRP was the biggest gainer and pretty much the only gainer regarding alts in 2024. And now it's mentioning stellar. And then to make matters even funny is this these people mention horses. So take that with a grain of salt. I am watching XLM for 2026 year of the horse because of the horse coin, mention of horse. So I'm going to be watching XLM. Okay, XLM is one that I have my eyes on a lot. So we're going to look at a chart over here for XLM. XLM is really, really beat up. I am interested in sub 20 cents. Anything here, I will be buying. Okay, this is the one that I am interested in the most. And then I like to look at it as well with XRP. Okay, so this will also be this XLM XRP chart. I will be taking a look at this. And I will also be taking a look at XLM ETH because this is going to be showing the strength against ETH, showing the strength against XRP, and showing the strength against the dollar. And then we'll be able to formulate a thesis as things develop. So if you're interested in tuning into that, feel free to subscribe, or if you have any questions, comment below. All right. So I'll definitely be watching XLM this year. And if you zoom out, the structure is looking very, very clean. I love the structure. It's looking very similar to XRP, but it's a little bit more beat up than XRP. So I think we could have an opportunity for a balancing act. Okay. So you have the buying climax, automatic reaction, or the selling climax, and then the automatic reaction from the selling climax into the second test. And then we have the last point of support. We held beautifully here. So this is a sign of strength because sometimes it goes below here, which is a spring, but it didn't. It held structure very, very nice. So it's a last point of support, and then we had the move. A sign of weakness is that it did not break this, but I think the theory is that XLM is going to pick up some prana this year. So I will be watching XLM. All right. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to comment below and I could talk more about that. All right. So we will wrap up this video with the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse thesis. This is the eclipse theory here. So today, the same day of the Chinese horse year, we have an eclipse. Okay. So this is a crazy alignment. All right. So crazy alignment. So the Chinese uses the lunar cycle to formulate its New Year. So it is New Year in China right now, February 17. And we also have a solar eclipse. So very, very crazy energy. And I will be watching the lunar eclipse for a potential bottom. I did mention this in my previous video. So if you want me to go a little bit deeper on this, comment below and I could share my thoughts on that. But I'm watching March or August for a potential bottom. And then March will be the final total lunar, and August we only have a partial. So I'll be watching these two dates as I mentioned in my previous video, March and August, and I share with you in my in this chart over here. So if you are interested in me going deeper into this chart, comment below and I will share my thoughts on that. All right, so I'm watching March or August for a potential bottom. All right, so that wraps up the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I tried to get a lot of information in a short period of time. If you have any questions you would like me to dive deeper in a concept, feel free to comment below and I'll focus more on that in my next video, okay? So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be posting 3 videos per month, one on the 8th, one on the 17th and one on the 26th of each month. So if you like my work, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. You can also follow me on X right here. Okay, we're growing this account. You're in the right place at the right time. Until next time.